Country. You can catch him. Which website? DJ?
Just anything on social media, hashtag Coach Carroll.
Coach Carroll.
You'll see it at the bottom.
With him. He's a supporter of these events, which means he helps fund and pay for these events, guys. Hey, let's give DJ a big round of applause.
Cool. How many people in here have seen me speak before? Gets more every time. I like it. Okay, but still, there's still some newbies. So before I get started and talk, I'll give you guys a little bit of background about me. I work with anybody from students to Fortune 500 companies. I've worked with State Farm, Cadillac, MetLife, Toyota, but I also really enjoy going and talking to students that might want to be entrepreneurs or might want to start a business, because I remember what it was like for me. I turned down 8 football scholarships, graduated with 3.75 GPA in high school, was going to be a chemical engineer, and decided to start mowing grass my senior year of high school, and was like, man, I really like this money stuff, right? Like my dad, he worked 30 some years for the city of Indianapolis. My mom sold insurance. So I always make the joke that we were middle class, but like my dad was holding the family and hanging from the bottom rung of the middle class ladder. Like we were just barely there. So when it was one of those things when I was growing up, my dad always told me, he's like, you know, if you want nice things, go work for them. And if you can go work for them, then you can have them. And then of course, mom comes behind, is like, your dad's being rough on you. Anything you can do, honey, just believe it and you can achieve it, right? So I was fortunate enough to have my dad, like, unless I came in with the first place trophy, he didn't give a shit. Like, wasn't paying attention to me. Like, good job, first place loser, second place, right? So, and then my mom's like coddling me, going, it's okay, honey, you'll get them next time. So I was very fortunate to have that. And so when I started in my business, it kind of backfired on them because, you know, all the way through high school I was going to be this chemical engineer, and then all of a sudden I remember sitting down at the dinner table, and my mom and my dad were sitting there. They were divorced, so it was uncomfortable anyway just to get them together at the same dinner table. But I looked at them and they're like, you know, honey, what do you want to do? And my mom's looking at me, she said, what do you want to do? You got these 8 scholarships, they're all great schools. They want you to come play football, it's going to be great. I was like, yeah, that's good, Mom. Dad's like, what do you want to do, son? You know, it's just whatever. I remember looking at them and going, I think I really want to try this business thing, this entrepreneurship stuff, because I took $300, my Walmart weed eater, my Walmart push mower, and I've been out here hustling. Like, I remember going to the Dodge dealership and be like, hey man, can I cut your grass? He's like, well, you got commercial mowers and stuff? I was like, nope, got a push mower. He's like, you realize that's like a half an acre out there, right? I was like, yep. You want to do this? Yes, sir. Whatever, man, I respect the hustle. You can try it out. So I remember like just push mowing on the side of the highway. My friends driving by in high school, honking at me, laughing, making fun. I would like wear my Yard Smart Lawn Care and Landscaping shirts to school, right? Like all the other kids got Abercrombie and Hollister on. I show up in work boots and a t-shirt, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy your outfit at the end of the day, right? Like, I had this new perception of saying, I'm gonna do it my way. And so the reason why I say I backfired is because, you know, my mom, the whole time I was growing up, she's like, honey, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Well, they didn't ever expect me to go, I'm not going to go to college, I'm going to mow grass for a living, right? Because at that point, they're like, oh man, we thought this was going to be the brain kid that went to college, and like, dad already had it seen, and in 10 years, I was going to buy him a Harley. Like, you know, he had all this plan figured out. And what wound up actually happening was I went to a community college, for about 1.5 years. And at the end of my 3rd semester, I was in accounting class. Forcefully so. You see, I wanted to take business finance, which was a 300 level class, and as a first semester sophomore, they're like, you can't do that, man. You've got to go take accounting. I was like, I don't want to take accounting. I want to go business finance. They're like, well, you're not going to understand that. I was like, let me be the judge of that. I flunk out of the class. You still got my money. What's the matter? I know that's all you guys are here for. And they're like, no, no. So I appealed it to the head of the department. The head of the department was like, nope, sorry, go to accounting, along with history of rock and roll. So here I am, sitting in college, doing debits and credits until my eyes are about to bleed. And all I can think about is that $327 house wash I got to do this afternoon when I get out of this class, right? And at 20 years old, knowing I'm going to go make $327 in about an hour and a half, and I'm not slinging dope, like, I'm pretty excited about it. So I just kind of sat here, and I was looking at this accounting shit, and I'm like, man, I'm done. I'm over this. I got up, and I said, you know, ma'am, you're going to have to excuse me. And to my accounting professor's approval, I guess. She was super nice, loved me to death. She said, DJ, can I just talk to you in the hallway? So we go out in the hallway. She was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I get it. Debits, credits, addition, subtraction, learn this shit in 5th grade. Like, I'm done. Well, you have to know this to run a business. And I looked her in the eye and I said, no, that's where this system has it backwards. I just have to make enough money to be able to pay you to know this. And she was just like, what? Like, yeah, they didn't teach that shit in college, did they? So, long story short, 3 weeks later, swear, I shoot her an email and I'm like, hey, I need to set up my QuickBooks chart of accounts and I'm lost. I remember you bitching in class about how you didn't make enough money teaching, you know, night classes at the junior community college. Like, what would you charge me to come set this up? And she's like, you're being serious? And I was like, absolutely. She's like, $300. I was like, done, I'll make that in an hour. Like, it doesn't matter, this is great. So, and we still run that chart of accounts to today. So that's kind of where, how I'm here now. That's where I got my start. Didn't, you know, kind of went down that traditional path and just realized that I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I like making things. I like figuring out problems. I like having the ability to create choices for myself, right? Like when we were driving here, Matt, my videographer, he's like, man, you don't like lines. I'm like, no, I don't like lines. Like my biggest thing in life is I do not want to sit in a line. It doesn't matter if it's in traffic on the interstate or standing in line at Starbucks. Like I don't like it because when I'm standing in line, I don't have a choice. I'm like everybody else in that line, and I don't like being like everybody else. And you guys shouldn't like being like everybody else. Be different. Be your own boss, right? Like that's why we're all here today. It's because we all have businesses. You know, yeah, sell stud by choice, entrepreneur by necessity. What I really realized once I got deeper into the business is I just love sales. I love selling, just the psychology around it. And then there's these things called employees, right? And if you want to make more than a certain amount of money, you got to have team members. And boy, oh boy, did I hate that part. Luckily, I've got this newfound love for people and team members, and I've just kind of changed my mindset to where now I want to grow this team and try to find people like Matt and my sales guys and whatever their superpower is. I want them on my team using that superpower to help me grow a business. And so when you guys look for that, know that sometimes hiring people can be a little bit of a struggle, but it's still a necessity to be able to grow your business. I grew Easy Pro, my lawn and landscape division, from a $300 startup to over $3 million in revenue. Sold it earlier this year. We still retained the power washing, and it was funny because they didn't want the brand. And I'm like, you guys are idiots. That's the most important part of a business. So let me retain the brand, which I'm going to show you you guys some really cool stuff that we've done with Facebook this year. We took all of our advertising to zero and only invested in Facebook advertising this past year. Power washing revenues are up 58%. My expenses are down 43%. Yeah, it works. All right.